Hello everyone, I am Jaideep Singh Chahal. So finally, after a lot of off-roading and four-wheel drive and overlanding videos, we are back to basics again. Uh, Back to basics with stuff that actually we've loved from day one. Uh, Reviewing probably, I won't say reviewing, it's more of a personal opinion video about the hottest discussion topic of discussion nowadays is the new Royal Enfield Super Meteor. Uh, there's tons of review videos out there which will give you all the basic specifications, the seat height in millimeters, the tire sizes, and everything. We won't be covering all of those specifications that you can read off the brochure. Uh, Things that often the fine print, I would say, or things that we generally tend to miss out, I'll be covering those in this video. uh, Very well made motorcycle, very well made motorcycle. This is something that actually makes you feel happy that a brand from India currently, it's no longer British, I would say an Indian brand is doing such a commendable job and is taking these standards up there. uh, Finally, we've got a true blue 250 kg wet weight motorcycle in India. Uh, the engine is carried over from the Intercept, I would say. They've got the 650cc engine. Best part about Royal Enfield is if they make an engine, they will put it in everything possible. A lot of spy images of this one, they've been out for a while. Another Hunter based 650, we've seen that bike in testing as well. So starting from the front, we'll cover the basic you know uh, things that are unique to this motorcycle. It's got your normal 119 in the front, so tubeless tire. Finally, we've got alloys in the twins now. Bi-brake disc brake setup, twin pod caliper. What has to be seen is the brace. So what I loved about this motorcycle, especially from Royal Enfield, is that they've made it very mod friendly. They've made it very mod friendly. The front fender is raised. We see a lot of clearance here. Uh, the first thing that people are going to start asking is, will it take a bigger set of tires? So the brace is a beautiful winged aluminum brace, and the brace is external. So whatever you see is clearance on the inside. So there's ample amount of space. We're running. We've got a set of 100 width tire in the front. This will happily take a 120 in the front. I can already see a lot of people swapping out this for a Michelin 120. It'll fit beautifully. There's no question about that. We'll do that very soon, and I'll share a video on that as well. So the front should take a 120. Uh, the blessing, of course, in this one is that we've got upside down. That in itself was a big deal. We've got the upside down USD, that's upside down shocks. But the best part is, me being a Japanese vehicle fan as well, we've got a set of Showas in this. Showa, I believe, is up there with the best possible brands. This is Royal Enfield stepping up the game. Um, some of the people, they've been, I've heard some reviews about the suspension being very hard or very stiff. Uh, One thing that we have to be mindful about, good suspensions, or I would say slightly high performance suspensions, is that they take a little while to reach their running temperature. So once it reaches the running temperature, that is when you gauge it. So off the showroom floor, right when you take it out, cold morning, regular starts, initial few minutes, it is going to feel stiff. It is the same case with our 4x4 suspensions as well. They'll feel hard and stiff till they reach the optimal running temperature. But again, no low quality brackets. We've got beautiful cast aluminum stuff going on the bike now. The lower T, the upper T, even the yoke in itself, it is all beautiful aluminum. Coming over to the levers, if you can see, uh, both the levers, you see these little screws here. So finally, we've got an Indian bike with grab or reach adjustment, and this is where we wanted Royal Enfield to reach. Actually, this is where you would always want an Indian brand to go. So you just release it, turn it, you can adjust it. People who wear gloves, this will be a blessing for them. You can adjust your reach, make it an easy braking or a low, you can adjust your clutch travel as well. So those two are there. Again, they've used a lot of aluminium. We won't get into the nitty gritty of what company has given, what not. So what we are exploring here is the option of playing around with the bike. This is going to be a platform, I would say. The oil filter is exposed. We will need a sump guard. The Royal Enfield accessories are going to give us a sump guard. So that is, I bet, the best possible option. So this has a foot forward control. The foot forward control in this one, if you see, is purely hanging off two bolts. So this is going to be the new topic of discussion, of course. Some people are going to like it. Some, they won't really appreciate the foot forward stance. So since it is hanging off two bolts and it's a solid mounting spot, we can see a lot of options to adjust your foot placement. They'll be out very soon. It's just two pipes and a mounting bracket, so that should be out very soon as well, to suit everyone's taste. I'm not saying this is the incorrect mounting, it's just that to fit to all body types, that will be there. We'll be getting tons of options in GMA accessories for seats as well. I'm sure the exhaust making companies, they're already at work. AEW and others, they'll be making tons of exhausts for this one. The stock sounds just like an Interceptor. There's hardly any difference. And now to the fun part, if you can come around the rear. The rear is a very clean, minimalist look. The sadi guard that, of course, ARAI wants us to have on every bike to get it registered, to make it road legal. This will come off. This bracket will come off. For those wondering if it is going to uh, hinder any sort of support for this one, it is not. The support braces for the rear mudguard are all inside, so this can pop off and it will give you a clean side as well. Footrests, as we can see, they've been carried over from the previous generation, the smaller engine Meteor itself. And the best thing that I loved about this one is, uh, if you come here, this is what we call the swing arm. So the swing arm has a beautiful wide angle. So that angle, what it does is, if you can see where my finger is, that's tons of clearance. That's tons of clearance here, and that carries on upward as well. So what this clearance means is that the rear 150, or is it a 140? The rear 150 8016 tire can easily be replaced with a 160, a 170, a 180, a 200. That's what I run on my 1900cc Yamaha Cruiser. So you can get that nice, wide, fat rear tire look. And like we did on the Meteor earlier as well, the turn signals are carried over. These will be relocated up here if you want a clean rear tail. And this gives you a very Honda Fury-ish look. The factory chopper that Honda had, you can get a very clean tail. All of this can go off, and you can relocate your number plate on the side. It can go here. These turn signals will go there, and a wide rear tire, and this bike is going to look amazing. We'll be trying all of those very soon, once we have the test ride bikes and all available. Other than that, I think the rear suspension also has the basic adjustment. Everything looks top notch. I got to ride the bike a little while back. All the other features, the fuel level indicator, the gear indicator, all of that is there. The gearing is amazing on this one, especially the final drive is slightly lower with your smaller rear wheel. So the pickup and that lazy boy sofa feel is there, but it feels very quick. And you don't really feel the need of shifting a lot of gears in city traffic due to a smaller rear tire, which in simpler words will give you more initial pickup, more bottom end torque, more initial pickup. So you won't be running around shifting gears. That kind of makes the foot forward comfortable as well, because you're not shifting gears a lot of times. So the engines are tried and tested. We won't get into how much power it makes and everything, but the headlamp is a full LED unit again. That has been covered by everybody who's reviewing the bike. So what I feel and what I see is that this is an amazing platform. I'll show you something else as well. You see a lot of holes or bungs, as we call it. There's a lot of bungs in the frame right here. I'll try to pull it out. Uh, so this right here, I think it's got a thread inside. Yeah, this one has a thread inside. So these bungs that have been left, this shows how mod friendly they've made it. These can serve as solid mounting points for all sorts of stuff. If you're fitting panniers in the back, big ones for touring, that'll go there. There's another bung right there. I think the touring model uses that. This can be used to hook a bungee in the back. So it's not just a very a very basic frame. The frame is completely re-engineered, very solid. Lots of mounting points is what I loved about it, and I think very soon we'll see a lot of modified versions, modified editions as well, with people changing them to their own taste. That's the whole idea of a true blue cruiser, and we'll just do a little. I'll just show you how tall it sits. The handlebar is nice and wide, and it's a simple, easy flat foot stance. If you're around 5'10", 5'12", I've seen people as tall as 5'7" flat footing it. One more point, yes, one point that I forgot. Uh, there was a lot of conversation online about how the suspension felt very hard and it tosses you around. I'll explain something very quickly. If you come around the rear, so this is a small wheel size. This is 2 inches smaller than your interceptor wheel. The tire sidewall is thick, so your first damping is going to happen from the tire. So what has to be kept in mind that when we are testing or test riding a motorcycle, we have to be aware and we have to be mindful about what tire pressure we are running. Tire pressure is something which is very basic, but very often it is ignored. So I am very sure 90% of the people who've test ridden and found the suspension to be stiff and throwing and tossing them around, they were riding a motorcycle with very high tire pressure. Generally, people just tend to overfill. You'll find 40s, you'll find 45s in the tires very easy, very common. But what has to be there is 32 in the front and 36 in the back. That is perfectly calculated for an 80-85 kg individual, and that'll even accommodate a pillion as well. So before we get around, I would say, finding fault in the suspension, make sure whatever we are testing is running the right tire pressure. The pressures I'm telling are cold, morning cold pressures, 32 and 36. This tall, thick sidewall is going to give you a lot of damping. But if overfilled, it is going to feel like you're riding a cart, I would say, with no suspension at all. So that is one thing we have to be very mindful about. The suspension, what I found, adjusted to my weight, it was amazing. I couldn't find a flaw. Of course, I think some of these international brands will very soon be doing progressive springs, and this opens a lot of avenues, since it will be, you know, it is the choice. The cruiser is today's choice for a daily runaround bike after any other platform, I would say. So a lot of aftermarket parts are expected to come in, and I think that's about it for now. Once we start pulling off stuff and making changes and fitting new exhaust and other stuff, we will do another video. But this is one super mod friendly motorcycle. Expect to see a lot of wide front and rear tires. They'll fit right in. You don't have to worry about anything. This rim size will happily take a 180 or a 200 tire. And there are options from Metzeler and a few other brands out there. So I would say happy and safe riding to everyone. Please do share your comments and feedback and anything else that you want me to cover. Thank you so much.